Alright, we're in the hardware accelerator, or incubator.
So this room is the assembly lab, so we've got a bunch of fittings and assembly we try to fit. So the whole premise of ARC is to sort of plug the gap between someone who's doing business. Cheers. Thanks trying to plug the gap between business development in from universities. You have a lot of access to a lot of the hardware equipment versus when you kind of leave uni into the real world. It's less access unless you've got a lot of money behind you as a company.
Yeah.
So we're trying to plug the gap for there so that we're able to provide access to hardware equipment, a little bit of software, to sort of help facilitate startups develop and businesses as well. So
there are prototypes happening.
And prototypes, yeah. So that's sort of the key thing. So this is the assembly lab. So like I said, we try to supply a whole range of different things for startups as well.
Nicely labelled, easy to find.
Yeah, and then in here is sort of where so much happens. So this one here we've got a vacuum forming machine. So we do range of
Darth Vader there.
Yeah, whole different equipment. So vacuum forming is really good for packaging design. So if people prototype their packaging design really quickly, really cost effectively, and then deciding whether or not they want to go over to China or Japan to get manufactured, or even here in Australia. And then we have access to sort of smaller like desktop CNC that's under maintenance at the moment. Have a larger CNC machine here. This one was an original startup that came out of ARC at one point, and this was like their Mark 1 prototype basically that they've donated it to us, which is really nice of them.
Cool.
And then we've sort of got rotary tools as well. So this is sort of where we're doing what you're cutting, what you're gluing, you're sanding, all that sort of stuff done in here.
Okay.
And then move on to the next one. If you've got any questions, just like fire out by any means. This is more on the MVP lab. This is where we're doing a lot of the hardware development side. We do sort of more of your laser cutting, and you're more different into the scale, but looking at your 3D printing from a composites perspective. So this one's more microforged onyx print, which is nylon and carbon fiber.
Yeah, that's pretty good quality.
The quality is pretty fantastic. So it's the tolerance level of this printer is about 0.1 millimeter. It can go 0.05, so it's quite close.
Yeah.
Likewise, the benefit to the Markforged is obviously the fact that you can lace it with carbon, so you can get prints with that one there. It's got carbon inside, so you try to place it. It's super strong.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
So there's applications for that.
Hey.
A range of different areas. So we've done some projects in the past where this is a redesign of a scooter, and you're able to just fit all the mechanisms as a one-off prototype before sort of getting a feel for how everything works before going to the factory or advancing up in those stages. And then you've also got the other end of the scale, which is super large. So super small, super tight fidelity versus something that gives you a lot bigger prints. 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter is the entire build spaces.
Yeah,
so you can get
I imagine that would take a heck of a lot of time.
Yeah. So the biggest thing we printed on here was part of a yacht, a model yacht, and it took about a week to print, and it was pretty much the length of the build plate, and it's huge. Catamaran looking thing, it's crazy. But yeah, that took about a week to print for just constant printing. But as you can see, sort of the quality of this one isn't as fantastic as that one, but it's more your speed and your size. So these ones are great for those sorts of what we call batch prints.
Yeah.
So be able to put, if you want to print, say 10 units of whatever you've got, your housing for your components, you can print a run of 20 of these and set them over the span of a week. Come back in a week's time, they'll be 20 done. If that's so it's good for the large volume, and also doing batches of prints as well. Those areas.
Awesome. What's the biggest 3D printer I've seen?
Yeah, it's
in person.
I think there's only a handful in Brisbane that are about this size.
So does it have the capability of multiple
dual extrusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one does. We haven't got it hooked up for it, but it definitely does have the dual extrusion nozzle for it. The spools, we usually about 5 kilo spools, and that way we don't have to keep monitoring. But depending sort of what the job is, we will depend on whether or not we'll use it or not. But yeah, so it's a range of materials as well. So you can use we've done wood filament, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
Pretty weird, but that was a niche project for a PhD student. She came in and printed these large bees, and they were all made of wood, and that was what she printed. So
how does that come? As a powder and glue? Or
it's the same process. So it's kind of like.
Is it already spooled?
Yeah, it's already spooled. So that's like your PLA. So that's just standard plastic.
Seen those ones before. But having a wood one sounds very intriguing.
It's very similar to onyx in the sense that it's all chopped up very finely and it's laced into a filament of sorts. So it's very similar in that means. But yeah,
That's alright.
but yeah.
Can't find it easy, it doesn't matter.
So then it was from laser cut really good for rapid prototyping, so like really fast stuff. So a really good example of that is we did a project for Metro Health. They were looking at building COVID PPE face shields. That was a really big uptake within the printing community in Brisbane and within Australia actually. And everyone was 3D printing these visor brackets.
Okay.
But what we found was if you use a laser cutter, and you can use it with acrylic, and you're able to laser cut, what takes 24 hours on a laser cutter takes you 25 minutes, and you'll get the exact same amount. So you're able to do 60 times faster on a laser cutter.
Than a 3D printer.
Than a 3D printer. And so we designed basically the face shield.
So you would bend it afterwards, or it was already a flat thing?
Already flat, bent into shape, and then so it just works the same way. And I don't know if you ever saw they were like kind of look like little halos that people put over the face. We've got some around, I can show you. But they work really well. And so like I was saying, we try to supply a whole range of things. So you've got your early stage prototyping, or you're prototyping there, but then also access to software and things like media. So we provide access to camera equipment, lighting setup, green screen, as well as sort of the Adobe Creative Suite, that sort of stuff as well.
I've got all that on my. I have Ryzen 9 and a RTX 2080.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So my home PC and is pretty good.
Yeah.
But my VR is just I need to upgrade that to something with more than one controller. I've just got the Vive Focus.
Okay, yeah, cool. I just bought it on Oculus Quest 2.
Alright.
It's not bad.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But these ones, like the Media Lab computers are fitted with Quattro P4000s anyway. So they're there. They're not the latest and the greatest, but they're there to do the work, the workhorse, I guess. And then also we do supply electronics lab equipment as well, so soldering, other engineering devices.
Alright.
And then also, the way it works is usually it's a subscription. So we do a hot desk space subscription. So you can use the space to work out of, and then that subscription also supplies you with access to all of the hardware equipment, and usually access to a staff member for 1 hour a week in the different disciplines that we cover. So we cover industrial design, which is my background, and Ellie, who's around taking photos. Mine is in engineering. Victor is business and commercialization, and Cora is IP. So
Okay.
cover sort of the basics.
So for me it'd be definitely pre-revenue, pre-seed.
Yeah.
So what, 375 pp per month?
That's not that much. Yeah. So yeah. It's not
And
too
then-
bad in comparison to some other places around. But also you can weigh up the access to the space and the hardware, dependent on what your needs are.
Yeah, I guess that's probably even a little bit cheaper than River City Labs.
Yes.
And for what I'm doing on this project, it's more appropriate because it's got the hardware.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's hardware membership and your workspace included, which is sort of out. It's out that way, and that gives you just access to coming and going as you please between the hours of I think 7 and 10 p.m. And we are open on weekend. Well, the space is available on weekends, but you can't use any of the machinery on weekends just because there's no staff members around. We need to be there to facilitate any doing like laser cutting or anything like that. That's safety doesn't mean that. But you get usually with the space you'll get an induction, and so we'll show you sort of as you go through each of the tools and how to use them. But feel free to come grab us at any point if you need help with anything. We're always around, happy to help. We also have access to sort of a lab as well, so try, like I said, Adobe Creative Suite. We try to supply SolidWorks as well, which is quite expensive. About $10,000 for a single license.
Missing an S.
Yeah, I just fell down before.
Good timing.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, and so if you need a computer to work on or something like that, that's also available. This is sort of the co-working space. So this is sort of the next tier up from a hot desk space, and that gives you access to sort of a more permanent position.
So it's a bigger place than I thought.
Yes.
I thought it was just going to be a little
mildly
bit down there.
deceptive. Yeah. So yeah, they're able to. So you would basically, this tier is one tier up from the standard, and so you kind of just leave. These guys got monitors and stuff. They can just kind of leave all their stuff around. Whereas with this one, it's sort of set up pack away at home sort of thing. So bringing your laptop with you, that sort of style. This one in here is sort of the lounge space, and then through there sort of the hot desk space / like co-working space, event space. So we can fold all the tables down, move all the chairs around as well, and we can turn that into a pitching event space, which is what we've done in the past. A couple of startups have held like their own events here as well. And
quick look. Yeah.
Projector, it's aircon, just standard working space.
Washrooms, a shower in there? Or
No shower, unfortunately, but yeah, there's just toilet, bathroom, and then the left is kitchenette. So kitchen with like a fridge and standard kettle, toaster,
Okay.
that sort of stuff.
Clean as you go.
And then you just see the bathroom. We have lockers as well if you need lockers or like a storage space. They're also available. And then here is the bar. So the space was originally a bar before us.
Okay.
And then before that was a brothel, which explains all the little rooms. So this is sort of the printer space at the moment. Kind of working on an automation project, so Juan's a bit more versed in that when he comes by. Definitely do that as well and show you how to 3D print.
So it's like an arm for moving things around?
Yeah, so we're trying to automate the 3D printing process. So being able to use the system software to be able to detect when a print's finished, and so that it'll be able to take the print off the bed, put it onto another like a storage area, and then be able to grab a new print bed, load the new print bed, and continue on with the next print. So you're able to stack prints up, for times
24
over the weekend
hours.
or 24 hours
Over the
basically.
weekend,
Yeah. So that way we can sort of keep it going, and it doesn't have to be manned by someone.
One up there.
It's a bit skeletons or other old printers.
Yeah, I remember seeing one similar to that at Hackerspace, I think.
Pharmacy S1. I don't remember the brand name of them, but yeah, they're pretty interesting. Those ones, they're a lot faster than your standard dual access printers. Yeah, and,
6 of them, or is that one there? No.
Oh, this one's a vinyl cover, but yeah, so that's so we've got 6 at the moment. With this one here, it does sort of your ultimates we try to use just sort of ultimate your filament. We don't really like to deviate too much. Whereas this one here is more for different types of materials. This one's a softer TPU. We've done like wood and other things here as well.
Baby Groot.
So
Does
yeah,
look very much like wood.
yeah, it's kind of a weird like. You know, it's,
Super light.
yeah,
Like that must, oh, that's heavy. It's just how porous the scaffold inside is.
yeah. On the inside, you kind of see a little bit on the inside there. But this one is. So this is just like your ultimate material level. So the finish is quite nice. But yeah, so what stage are you up to with yours? Just sort of developing, or
Just really had the idea. Spoken to a few people in a forum